Zombies. You've seen them in movies.
Zombies are the most frightening monster in history.
Is there any truth to their story?
Every culture creates its own version of zombie.
Could they be real?
There have been diseases throughout history that have mimicked the behaviors of the zombie virus. The plausibility, it's there.
You would never be up against one zombie. You would be up against thousands or millions.
How would you survive? What would you do day to day?
It is total destruction. The zombie spine cut in half.
Are you ready for a zombie apocalypse?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Conspiracy Therapy Podcast with Ryan, Larry, and Joshua. Today, suit up, gentlemen, because there's a zombie apocalypse on the horizon.
I have to put clothes on now?
Yeah.
So, what do you guys call a fast-moving zombie?
I don't know.
Yeah.
A zombie.
I thought you were going to say a Zumba, but no. Zombies.
Yes.
Scary, 1 to 10.
Wow, we're jumping right into it.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Josh?
Yeah, they're pretty damn scary.
1 to 10?
Well, hold on. Which form of the zombie? Are we talking fast and semi-smart or slow and stupid like Night of the Living Dead? Return of the Living Dead or Night of the Living Dead zombie?
Well, which Return of the Living Dead are you saying? Because there's like a Return of the Night of the Living Dead plus a Night of the Living Dead plus a Return to the Return of the Night of the Living Dead plus a Night before the Night of the Living Dead, or
the actual
Return
canon.
of the Living Dead Eve.
Ooh,
right.
The actual canon Return of the Living Dead zombies were the fast moving, whereas
Yes.
Night of the Living
Okay.
Dead was more a slow and stupid.
So we're I guess we're going with like the modern zombie spin-off, the 28 Days Later kind of
Well,
angry fast. Okay. You mean fast or slow? Okay, so fast zombies.
fast zombies, I would say, are scary.
Yeah.
Slow moving zombies are not as scary. Fast would be like an 8. Slow would be like a 6.
Okay.
Fast is a 10. I'm fat. I can't outrun much.
Cardio.
My idea of cardio is run into the fridge.
So, like, if you like tripped and turned around and saw Usain Bolt zombie, you'd be pretty worried, wouldn't you?
I would.
Of course.
With slow zombies, as you're saying, they're dumber too. So I feel like even if I couldn't outrun them, I could at least outsmart them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would train up by watching Home Alone 1.
Right.
And would, get all those booby traps all set up. I'd be fine, I think.
Just put a bunch of treadmills outside.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So, actually, yeah. I mean,
They're training.
you just stick like a kitten in front of like a bulletproof glass mirror and just stick a bunch of treadmills outside.
Yeah, they just keep
Yeah.
just smashing their head into the glass.
All right. To be honest with you, I was going to say if anybody said zombies weren't scary, in some facet, I guess if
They
you
are.
say, okay, look, the slow zombies, you can pretty much play your Nintendo 3DS and eat a sandwich and not have to worry about them catching up to you if you're walking at a decent pace.
Depends. Do you have Wi-Fi and how good's your signal?
True, but if it's a horde, it's a lot scarier. Go ahead.
See, even with the slow zombies, they're eating other human beings, and that's scary.
Well, that's an inherent fear in most people, cannibalism. Living people eating living people,
Yeah.
but then
Is this foreshadowing?
might be, might come back around. Okay, so first of all, zombies. What would you guys say would be the first incarnation of zombies in literature? If you had to guess.
Ooh. Literature, I wouldn't.
I feel
or
like
art.
It's almost when we discussed vampires, because in a way they were coming back to life. So I feel maybe in that time period, perhaps.
I crossed a lot of revenants when researching this. And
Right.
I'll cite my sources. There's a History Channel documentary from 2015 called The History of Zombies. Also, there's a Zombiepedia, which has been upheld ever since Max Brooks' World War Z book came out.
Okay.
Try to forget the movie. Think of the book. The book is a lot
Easy.
better.
I never saw the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't spoil it too much, but it's basically a survival guide if there was ever a zombie apocalypse. And then also...
See, I have my own idea on how to survive zombie attack.
I actually have the zombie survival guidebook.
Want me to throw it out there? Football helmet.
That's a good idea.
I mean, it snaps on. It covers your face and your head. I mean...
Well, depending on the zombie. I mean, some of them eat whatever they can.
That's true.
Chest cavity.
I like my chest cavity.
Wiener.
Love my wiener. Loved it twice today.
Whew. Anyway.
Probably should not have shaken my hand there, Josh.
Jeez. Well, as I said, the slower moving zombies tend to be less scary, but when they're in a horde, they can be unpredictable.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if it's a wall of zombies and that's your only exit.
I'm surprised they don't just since they're so dumb, they don't just start eating each other.
Well, that's a good question.
Like it's cannibalism within cannibalism.
I guess, when do they stop eating each other? Because some zombies look like they're pretty well formed. They're just kind of rotting.
Yeah.
And then there's those other ones that's like, damn, you got the low end of the stick. You fell into a horde pile, buddy. You were at an old country zombie buffet. Somebody thought you were potato brains. So
Jeff Foxworthy zombie.
One of the first most famous zombies of all time is Frankenstein. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from the 19th century.
Okay.
And
but he was friendly, wasn't he?
Well, he questioned his reality, and in the end, I mean, it
was the people that pushed him over the edge.
Right. Right, and it's that's why it's such a good book, because it's a play on a lot of different fears. Frankenstein with the subtitle "The Modern Prometheus," which Prometheus is when basically the idea of when a man plays God and what God does to him. If you believe or don't believe, I guess it doesn't matter, but it kind of has the same outcome. When you try to play God, bad things happen.
Generally.
So
I feel like doctors are playing God a lot.
I feel like Alanis Morissette didn't have any problem with it.
Oh, that's right, Dogma. Well, okay. Anyway.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Saw that one. It's a movie I actually watched.
Damon.
So, today's Frankenstein, if I can kind of Prometheus into the modern age, is biological weapons, because it's stuff that we can engineer. And the sad fact is, we can engineer, and this is totally backed up, a zombie apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's been...
Seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that when you have researchers who the only way they can make sure that their grants are coming in constantly is prove that they're working on something. And at this point, we've, discovered how to turn a rat into a bunny or whatever, whatever that's going on there. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, we just crossed salt with some weird polymer we found underneath a turtle in Zimbabwe. Oh, this creates an interesting gas. Hey, Jeff, why don't you go smell that gas that's... Oh, God, Jeff's inside out.
Jeff will smell anything.
So,
Jeff's a party animal.
Exactly. So...
Now he's part animal.
So, it's kind of creepy what can happen nowadays with biological weapons. And to be honest with you, the closest thing I can think of that comes to like a modern, I guess, with zombies, their threat is to try to take over the living, right?
Right. And
their disease is unstoppable because when you die, you're a zombie. That's it. So what do you do to stop them? Like what? Okay, here let's dive in a little bit here, because I won't even say every other redneck. I'll say every redneck I've ever met. If you get a few drinks in them, they'll tell you their zombie apocalypse plan. So let's go. What are some of your zombie apocalypse plans?
I already told you the football helmet. I might even put the shoulder pads on. Lower his shoulder into a zombie. Feel like I could get right through one. Now, if it's a horde, it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need ammo and guns. Maybe a grenade would be good.
Well, isn't that going to be very loud? Because they say one of the best items you can have is a blunt object in the event of an apocalypse.
Wooden baseball bat.
Less
There we
noise.
go.
Ooh.
Because
And it's not aluminum.
a machete
Wood.
a machete would cut to the brain, because the brain is what you want to silence in the event of a zombie apocalypse.
I see myself getting tired after about 3 swings.
True.
The problem. Okay.
I already know I'm going to die in the zombie apocalypse. I am in no shape
Especially
to take
if
on
they're
zombies.
runners. Josh, you got a few ideas? Sorry.
Excuse me.
Ooh, that was a good idea right there.
Yeah, it was. I would disagree with the wooden baseball bat because it would have weight, a lot of weight. That you're swinging that sucker around. It's gonna get heavy and it can break. Whereas an aluminum bat is going to be a lot lighter, and the chances of it breaking are a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you are faced with the zombie apocalypse, you definitely don't want to carry too much. A gun, you might want to have a gun and a few clips, but you do not want a bunch of guns because that's going to weigh you down, and you also have more stuff that they can grab at.
Pickup truck.
Gasoline.
You're a buzzkill, Josh.
Okay, so
I mean, a tank's not a bad idea.
It's so easy to get your hands on one.
You know, there's one not far away from me.
It
doesn't move, but you know, I can
at least stay in there, I suppose.
when taking care
just
of zombies,
learn to eat screws and bolts and whatnot.
according to Zombie Squad, which is a real thing,
I feel bad for you. There's websites you have to visit to put this podcast together.
hey, there's 28 chapters and it's an international organization, okay? People are scared. People are scared. And there's a reason to be. When taking out zombies, the use of a blunt object is most convenient. It's not loud and can be used with precision to get to the monster's main hub, the brain. Machetes are solid and most people prefer them, but some people don't, because the human skull is so hard to crack and can be a major nuisance to deal with. Because of this, depending on how many zombies you're facing, you're going to lose a lot of energy. So, for those similarly minded, I think to you, Larry, zombie experts, they choose firepower. And for that, you want an M4 because it'll give you range. You want an AR-15, which is like the military M16, which I used.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful. As far as up close, a 22 will suffice. It's close range, which can be kind of scary.
Yeah.
Always aim for the head, obviously. Another popular handgun is the 9mm, Beretta 9mm, which I guess a good idea. See, here's the thing. Zombie apocalypse happens, the government's going to freak out, and it's going to create panic in the people. But the government's going to try to calm us down, and then the conspiracy theorists like us are going to be like, we need to do a podcast right now about why things are weird. I went to Walmart, and there was this guy, and he just kept walking into the recycled can box, and he was drooling, and it was red.
This is an important podcast. We got to do it now. Oh, loading up song. Putting together clip. You see, we would die.
So, in the event of this sort of thing happening, hypothetically, the first thing to happen is our infrastructure falls apart. We don't get supplies.
No internet, which means no porn.
Which means no.
I'm just going to shoot myself in the face then.
I don't want to live in that world. I'm not going back to Playboys. Who knows where those things went?
Well, the thing
Try
is,
the underwear ad from JCPenney.
God, you got to use your imagination.
Hard times, baby.
Just drop boobs on these boobs. All right. So anyway, also a Mossberg 12 gauge will work. Now, you're going to make a mess. And obviously, we don't know what kind of zombie apocalypse we're living in, because whatever happened, chances are it's the government that fucked up. That's the reason that it happened. And in most popular fiction, that's how it does happen. The
Now-
government fucks up because they're testing on an ape, and then the ape gets rage disease, and then the rage disease affects everybody. I'm sorry, that's 28 days later, but
Those scientists were just so preoccupied with whether they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
mic drop.
Sounds like my supervisors.
So if you're not good with firepower, and you're like, man, my batting arm's not real good.
It's a bad time to be anti-gun, is what I'm saying.
And you're
I'm
not-
taking a stand. I don't like gun.
Okay, we'll
You're
just
dead.
say the liberals will be the first to go.
Yes, they will. Be using them as bait.
Wait, whoa. I thought we were dead, though.
Well, we
Yeah,
died
cardio
before
and all.
them because we died before them because we got drunk and decided to try to tease one.
There's Ryan throwing empty liquor bottles at zombies.
Exactly. There is one last hope, though. If you can find a CDC or find the CDC,
Compact disc?
That's
No.
what I was going
Center
to
for
like.
Disease
Take
Control.
CDs,
Oh,
break
it's
them in half, and
CDR.
try to jab
Yeah.
them in their ears.
If you can find the CDC, you may want to get there ASAP. It is still a functioning. If it's still functioning, but a fear of the government, especially if they're the ones that caused the epidemic to come, a zombie apocalypse seems helpless and unstoppable.
Right.
Speaking of the CDC, in May of 2011, there was an actual paper they put out. This is legit. On how to survive a zombie apocalypse, giving more merit to
that.
how real this is.
I saw it on their website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, okay, quick little thing. This will give you an
Yes.
idea of what we're heading into. Did you know that since September 11th, 2001,
I'll never forget.
Oh,
over
that's right.
half of the zombie art has come out? So,
Really?
yes,
That makes
50% in the last 15 years. In 2015, there were 55 zombie movies put out.
Yeah, there was a big explosion. That was like the thing.
Yeah, well, somebody's
That's
got a
true.
hard on for The Walking Dead.
Oh, great.
Oh,
now
wait,
we're going to have
America.
a Twilight version of zombies. Zombie love.
There already was.
Oh,
what was the
for
one called?
Detachable
sakes.
wiener.
No. What was it called? Love Zombie. Zombie
Oh,
Lover.
yeah.
Warm Bodies.
Yes.
Warm Bodies.
Which actually,
That's
I
a
didn't
decent
mind
movie.
it. I didn't mind it.
was a
I love
stupid
zombie
premise.
flicks, but going into it with a less than favorable approach, I was like, it's okay.
Makes sense. I mean, it's a man without a brain.
Right. And women love that.
All the
That's
feminists
why
that
my-
listen to the show are like, yes, I love you, Larry.
I mean, that's why my wife married me.
Okay, so if it happens, like I said, the infrastructure falls, things we take for granted, electric, water, and gas go bye-bye. Our shipping services slow down until their supplies are dwindled. Without food and water, which is a necessity.
Yeah.
In a zombie apocalypse, that's the first thing you need to tally up. Okay, how many cans of
Beer.
beer?
I always have the kind
Okay.
of good. I have those kinds of canned goods stashed all the time.
Right, of course. But
There's
you
protein
need,
in
you
there,
need
I
to make
think.
sure you got lots of corn nuts,
Yeah.
top ramen, which you could heat over a.
You know, I won't even take top. I'll take bottom shelf ramen.
Maruchan?
Yeah. Little flavor packet in there.
If you didn't have a Walmart and a McDonald's, could you survive? That's
No.
a question.
Not a,
I go to Aldi, bitch.
Oh. Cell phones and the internet are our main communication. If our arsenal isn't supplied, we'd have to stockpile ammo. If that happens, how quickly before those are depleted? So that's like the bases. If they're sitting there just like, hell yeah, we got us base taken over, and they just waste like a whole, clip. And then you get enough of those, and then you get the guys that kill themselves, and then the guys that kill the guys that turn into zombies after they kill themselves.
And then people kill other people for the
Just for
supplies that
fun.
they have.
Or yeah, there's
I mean,
that.
seriously, if I don't have food and someone does, I mean, it becomes a moral dilemma at that point.
I mean, that's really the basis of The Walking Dead is the aftermath. I'm going to come after you because you have resources that I need.
Yeah, if trying to keep your family alive, I mean,
Right.
there's no court.
No, there's no court. And the thing is, as soon as some place becomes overly contaminated, borders get closed. So The main
As if someone's going to
contaminated
actually guard them. I mean,
Dude, Trump built the wall. You try to get over that thing.
Look, man,
Goes both ways.
borders get closed, and if they put a robot there that says no, come in to Mexico, I'm going to listen to that robot. Just kidding. I'm going to kick that robot and his
Right in
fucking
his nuts.
Energizer balls. So
robots
the
are
main
built with
contaminated
nuts.
sections become overrun, hordes form. Chances are containment means the government gets scared and bombs the crap out of major areas to shut down zombies.
Yeah.
To be real, the government is the main fear in the apocalypse.
There will be a lot of collateral damage.
Exactly. Because we don't know how to contain something that we can't predict. But there are some examples
Okay.
of pseudo zombie apocalypses from our past. I want to play a clip, and then we'll delve into those examples of zombie apocalypses that we survived.
At first, it can seem like a common cold. Stuffy nose, cough, sore throat. But when you begin to feel tired, achy, and feverish, you know you've probably got something worse. The flu. Running from late fall into spring, flu season in the U.S. can afflict as much as 20% of the population. In a typical year, more than 200,000 Americans are hospitalized for flu-related complications. Thanks to vaccines and antiviral drugs, the death rate from the flu is only around 0.1%. But as many as 30 to 40,000 Americans still die annually from the flu, most of them people over 65. Worldwide, that number can reach as high as 250,000 to 500,000. And every so often, the flu morphs from a seasonal nuisance into something far more dangerous, an epidemic, or even a pandemic.
So I chose a little PSA there to play for you guys about the flu because I wanted to give you...
I want to get the flu now after listening to that. That was fun.
Do you? West Nile, SARS, Zika, the clap, they all suck.
The clap. I like how you threw the clap in there.
Horrible diseases seem key to inspiring our imaginations, from vampires to creepy clowns and currently zombies. If we know it's possible for us to generate the zombie apocalypse, and with each new disease Mother Nature manufactures from a monkey's gas in the Amazon, there's no telling what could await us down the line. But I'll say this as a government employee currently with no real skills post-apocalypse, I'm going to work on my own survival skills. Because
it's easy. Just pretend you're a supervisor and they'll already think you're brain dead.
Well, I can fish though, but I'm going to be screwed when my cell phone turns off and my car runs out of gas. So
fishing might be the only way to get food at that point.
Have you guys ever heard of Kuru? I know I listed some diseases.
Kuru I've heard of. Yeah, it's a brain disease in Africa, is it not?
It's similar to mad cow disease. It's comes from eating bad meat, or in cannibalism's case, eating human beings. Brains.
I just slandered the continent of Africa.
Well, its origins are from the 50s in Papua New Guinea. It came from a 20th century... Oh, I said 1950s. Okay, so it came from a ritualistic cannibalism that was still performed in a tribe. They became confused, delirious, and unable to move. And
good part about those ritualistic cannibalisms, you get a great show before the feast.
Do you get a cookie at the end?
It's like going to a one of those Japanese steakhouses where they do the flaming onions. Yeah, it's great.
Like Chris Farley.
Highly recommend a ritualistic cannibalism.
I'm just saying, as far as zombies come, they ate people. And granted, this is leading into the cannibalism we mentioned earlier.
Right.
And they became semi-zombie-ish.
Really?
Eating brains is no good. They, according to what the researchers found, they had air pockets in their brain that basically made them mentally small as a human and almost catatonic. What's the closest, though, that we've come to a real apocalypse leading in from the flu? Well, you could start with the Black Plague.
Yeah. If it wasn't for a fire, that would have continued for a long time.
Exactly. See, he's been listening to our show. The more you know. The Black Plague was a bacteria that came from Asia to Europe and wiped out a third to a half of the population, killing 100 million. And that was during the 15th century. And then as the PSA noticed with the pandemic, there was actually in the 20th century a pretty sizable disease that came about called the Spanish flu. Now, to be honest with you, when I heard about the Spanish flu, I remember hearing about it in health class, or not health class, probably history class. Who knows what class? I didn't keep track.
Not to be confused with Spanish fly.
Exactly. See, when I hear Spanish, I automatically just think flamenco and like hot chicks
Tacos.
dancing. Taco. Oh, love tacos.
Dancing tacos?
Dancing tacos.
Dude, I like the way you think, Josh.
In
My mind's always on
1918
tacos.
Mine too.
In 1918,
My body's built by tacos.
Sorry. In 1918, the Spanish flu, or H1N1/avian flu, disease killed 50 million people. 1918. That's relatively recent, fellas.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
To give you an idea, this disease killed more American soldiers in World War I than what died in combat.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah. So it's like, what are we fighting for? What are we fighting for?
For the flu.
I say similar to a zombie apocalypse because of panic. In each case, people see it as the flu and downplay the situation. The religious see it as the apocalypse coming and the wrath of God for the people's sins. The government uses it as some sort of control over the populace. The problem with the disease usually is that infants and old get it, but with this, young people were affected. So you had your guy who was at home and he was like, Sally Mae, it's 1917. I'm going over there. I'm going to show the Germans what. I'm going to chase that Panzer asshole into the ground, kick him in the balls. And, he shot his load and put a bun in the oven, got in a plane, went over there, and then he was like, I got the sniffles. Uh-oh. These aren't just the sniffles. But there goes my lungs. And then he had to deal with mustard gas.
And that's how World War I was won.
That's why you come to this show, ladies and gentlemen.
All started out by shooting a load in someone and then making them some bread, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That is good, like, afterglow food. A little bread, some apple cinnamon butter on it.
Well,
Tacos.
What's kind of scary about this all is that during 1918, on top of that, you had a lot of people traveling, and that's actually really how the disease spread.
I know that.
What made it so dangerous. The problem is that they hit hard. The global world happening in the early 20th century sent the disease everywhere. And if you think about it, today it would be 3 times worse if it was that disease.
Absolutely.
How does this happen, though? Well, more often than not, humankind is responsible for zombies because, like I said before, government testing.
But I remember reading about this, I want to say it was some kind of a bug in the Amazon that injects their prey with some kind of a toxin.
Right,
that
but that's specifically to an insect, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, and I'm terrible and didn't look it up before I came here. But yeah, it's a bug that injects its prey, and the other bug, it ends up dying and then being reanimated.
It's a zombie ant. It's got some sort of fungus. Basically, it creates a parasite in the brain.
Okay.
By attacking and then basically turning it into like a slave.
Yep.
So insects can do it. Why can't we?
Well, how impossible would it be for a scientist to get a bunch of these, do research on it, figure out what it is, that parasite, and be able to manufacture it so it was good enough to attach to a human host. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I can just already picture some government official saying, "Oh, well, if we have all these people dying every day, we could just attach this parasite and send them to war."
Well,
yeah,
being in the line of work that we are, we'd be the first to get it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alerts.
I didn't say anything else. I was going to say something, but I'm not. Because we have to protect our identities, guys. We're like superheroes to our listeners, so...
Well, I mean, it is Blank Man. Superhero something.
Other than Frankenstein, the most popular, basically, zombie story is Night of the Living Dead, George Romero's 1968 movie about zombies. And basically, what's nice about Night of the Living Dead is it really did spawn a whole resurgence in the zombie culture. I mean, you wouldn't have The Walking Dead, you wouldn't have the great, I think, almost the great storytelling angles that come from the zombie story. The post-apocalyptic dystopian future is pretty hard-grained into everything. I mean, even some of my favorite movies, I find influences from the post-apocalyptic world's dark world that he created in those movies. I mean, The Road, Cormac McCarthy's book / movie that was made with Viggo Mortensen a few years back, was a great apocalyptic type scenario. Granted, there weren't zombies, but it gives you similar feels, similar story beats. I mean, it's a very desolate story to tell.
I would make a movie and then advertise it as pre-apocalyptic, and then everybody show up. They'd be like, "It's just a dude mowing his lawn. His wife is doing the laundry."
And there's a scientist with like a beaker and like a vial, and he's just like
pouring it in. He goes, "Nope, nothing happened."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, grape soda," and he just drinks the vial. Yeah, that's a clever movie.
People run to see it. They're pre-apocalyptic. We got to see this.
It's got apocalypse in it, which means it's not an X-Men movie, but maybe it's
soundtrack by Tupacalypse.
Yeah. Oh, that's totally a rapper. If not, I'm taking that name.
I always said I would be Wonder Bread if I was a white rapper.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
I'd be your sidekick, DJ Mayo.
Coming to a venue near you, folks. So we said that obviously zombies are scary. If you say no, you're kind of a contrarian.
You're a liar.
You're just trying to be like, "Oh, I don't like The Walking Dead, so fuck zombies." Well, truth be told, they're scary. They're rotting corpses that are trying to eat you.
Yeah.
Now, we know for a fact from Ryan's stellar research this time around that zombies are a reality and can happen.
Yeah, and in a way.
And almost all folklore in the past.
I mean, basically caused by brain farts, right? Pockets of air in the brain.
Well, if you digest brains, you will
pockets
go
of air
crazy. Yes, but as far as, like I said, the only way that zombies could really happen would probably 99% chance be because the government testing goes haywire. Basically, every synopsis that most science fiction writers who've written about the zombie apocalypse go with.
I mean, could we assimilate them into society, perhaps?
Oh, you mean like Shaun of the Dead?
You know, you'd have like, I don't know, a plumber. He'd be like, drains.
Well, there's actually, he says that there was a movie called Fido about a guy who adopts a zombie.
Oh, I wanted to see that. That's right.
It's
oh my God. Movie. Is it good?
I would recommend that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good movie. And it kind of explores that. I mean, at this point, there's a zombie detective show called iZombie. She
One gets into
murders,
retail,
and then she
frames. No, I'm going with Contacts. Sorry, zombie.
So now that we're kind of in the media end of this, I gotta ask.
Yeah,
what's your favorite form of zombie media? Like, is there like a game series or a movie or a television show?
I like zombies.
Oh, Larry!
I like Shaun of the Dead was my favorite.
Oh, that's a lot of a great movie. I mean, yeah, that's a great. I would say. I mean, I loved Resident Evil, but at this point, I don't want to revisit it because the shitty controls. Even though they redid it, I still think
Too bad. We're going to add another podcast.
Really, really excited for the new Resident Evil game, though.
Well, it is a
4
return.
Was the last good one.
4 is an amazing
You've
game.
got to see the trailer for
That's
the
what I heard
newest
about
one.
5 and 6.
5 wasn't terrible.
There's a review.
6.
Pay $59.99. It wasn't terrible.
I mean, 6 was terrible. 5, I've played it enough to get the platinum at least. But
4 on the Wii was the best.
4
was
is a
awesome.
legendary for a reason.
Love playing with
But
my Wii.
the new Resident Evil game goes
too.
back to the roots of Resident Evil, where it looks very scary. And now that PlayStation has the VR headset coming, you can essentially go into that zombie world, and it just looks incredible.
I don't know about the VR stuff. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait this first year out.
Yeah, I mean, I you know, as much as
I bought into the Game Boy Virtual. What was that? Virtual Boy.
Yep.
I bought one of those migraine-inducing pieces of shit.
Hey, this is red. It's gonna burn right into your retinas, kid.
I'm playing tennis. Learn how to throw.
Now
Get
he
Larry's
wears
head out of
glasses.
there. He's
I'm
having
turning
another
into a zombie.
seizure. Oh Lord.
But yeah, I mean, I know I've said it before, and it's obvious that I'm a pretty big gamer. So I mean, yeah, Resident Evil is a fantastic zombie series. There's of course Plants vs Zombies, which is
I love Plants vs Zombies.
that's pretty big right
Garden
now.
Warfare's idealistically.
Plants that turn me into a zombie. Does that count?
Sure,
It does count. Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, there's games also
You
like The
smoking
Last
that
of Us.
Frankenstein?
Yeah, frankincense to cover the smell. Yeah.
Nice.
It reminds me of
Oh,
the.
Lord. This
Never
is
mind,
the
I'm not going to go
pot
into that.
podcast.
It's a podcast.
Who talked about pot? I'm talking about leaves.
Oh yeah, that's right. We only smoke leaves from trees. Is
It's
that
true.
legal? Can you pull a leaf off a tree and smoke it?
Sure, why not?
As long as it doesn't make you feel good. If it does, the government will be all up your ass.
Like
yeah.
what? Your glaucoma feels better? You remember things? You're nicer to people?
But the first
Take
official
this aspirin.
movie, and I'm surprised you didn't mention this, was White Zombie.
Oh yeah, the 1930s movie. It was the first real reference, and it's also what Rob Zombie named his
That's
first
what I
band.
assumed, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mention that. No. I wanted to mention Frankenstein off the bat because I thought it would be a good way to.
Technically, that was here first. So
Well, no, I
never would have thought about it as like it never crossed my mind that would be a zombie movie, but you're right. Absolutely.
Well, it's all dead pieces he puts together, reanimated. It's actually kind of
World's worst puzzle.
Yeah. Well, there is a great movie called May that I can recommend as well.
Okay.
It's about a girl who does similarly what I did. What is it about S's that screw me? Yes,
It's not the S's. It's the...
It screws you.
Okay. So May is a great movie that does things similarly
Yay!
to Mary Shelley's epic Frankenstein, which I would also recommend to read the book because it is still scary. And you know that she won a contest for horror. That story was submitted as it was a contest with friends. It wasn't like a big publication. They all spent the night around a fire because this is what you did back in 1848 when things sucked. I don't know if it was 48, but whatever.
Just
so
the
she
age you
sat
died
around
at.
and they all wrote a story, and she wrote the scariest, and they would let her win. She won. It was a friendly competition. So, yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you.
There's a lot of different things we could cover with zombies, and I wouldn't be surprised if we came back, especially because there are other aspects. You know, you've got the insects, like Josh brought up, which would be fun to explore. You also have cannibalism, which I think unto itself is another episode.
Oh, easily, easily.
Because I got really
we'll do a
into.
tasting.
Ooh, I like doing tastings.
These are my famous Paco tacos, made out of Paco.
The onions are actually pieces of my skin.
Can we skip out on the hot dogs though?
No, well, suit yourself. I think the weenies are great.
Right on. Okay. Good Lord, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so do we really need to say are zombies real? Because I think we all three know for a fact they're not real.
It's
currently.
It's plausible though.
Do you think there's a zombie out there? I guess we'll say it.
No.
Do you think, given what we know,
boy, but that thing you talk about the brain fart people.
I'm just picturing these people in Zimbabwe like
sticking their nose up each other's asses, like, oh, I got a good one.
Whoa, Marvin.
I don't know why they're doing that. That sounds like
silent but deadly.
You're talking about Brazilian fart porn. What I'm saying, I'm picturing people who literally have like seizure because their heads are like farting. Whenever I picture brain farts, that's all I picture. It's a
Scott says never trust a shark.
That's so gross. Okay, so
leaking out of your ears, Mike.
So, okay, yes, there were the Zimbabwe people with the air pockets in their brain from eating brains. I think they're all dead by now, though, because I'm thinking this was reported in the 70s. I don't know how many brain leftovers they had. Are you brain farting? Did you have brains today?
I did. Scrambled brains. Little sriracha.
You throw a little sriracha on that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Brings out the flavor.
Oh, Lord.
I love sriracha.
Okay.
Me too.
So, the people...
There's a brain fart.
Dude, we are all turning into zombies.
Right.
Okay, so...
This is the grossest, most bodily fluid-induced podcast I've ever done. There's just phlegm and farts.
I guess that could lead into one last little point I would love to bring up based on my research. So... In 1346, okay,
what happened?
Mongols, which actually coined the term horde, attacked a Crimean peninsula using dead bodies. Did you know that?
They like slingshot on them?
Yes. they had these dead bodies, had a plague, so they used them. It was the first instance of biological warfare.
Oh, that's gross.
I just knew that off the top of my head. I think I'm getting better at this. Yeah, no, dead babies, everything. It was sad.
Goodbye, Aunt Trudy.
Yeah,
this guy just hit me with a femur.
He just those weird looking guys out there just threw some old grandma into the side of my tiki hut. You know, the town alcoholic wasn't feeling it that day.
No.
So
bringing me down, man.
Are they real? Are there currently zombies? There's insect zombies. Are there human zombies out there now?
No.
Perhaps in a cannibalistic tribe. I think there's a possibility.
Oh, Larry's going possibility.
I don't
what do you say,
think
Josh?
it would be. See, the thing is, I don't think it would spread like everybody imagines.
No.
A zombie apocalypse happening, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is like some sort of rare brain fart disease.
Well, look at some of the drugs that are out there right now that cause people to go like mentally
Crocodile.
insane.
Bath salts?
Yeah, bath salts. I mean, what was it a couple of years ago? There was that guy in Florida who was eating that dude's face.
That just happened,
happened
in Florida again.
And I think
It's a
it was
Florida
even
thing.
worse. It was like a kid and his mom.
He was 19. He left a restaurant. Just left. Like, got up and left. And people were like, oh, that was weird. Kid leaves. Murders a husband and wife, or it may have been a mother and child. Or kid. I don't remember which. But yeah, killed him and then just started eating their faces.
He was grumpy.
Yeah,
from what I remember.
He also, before he did that, he broke into somebody's garage and drank like antifreeze.
See, you're not a car. You don't drink antifreeze.
No.
So
windshield wiper fluid. Yeah, I mean, come on. But
I
you
think
want to be streak free.
Because of what these effects that these drugs are having on people, I
and that's
almost
just
want
retard testing. Pardon my French, but that's just idiots who are like, this new Shine wax
thing.
It smells like lime.
Wait.
Must taste like lime too.
So you're telling me if I smoke this, I'll just find video games, music, and movies really cool, but if I take this, I'll eat someone's face? Totally eating people's faces.
I bet it tastes like chicken.
Hey, boo-boo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that in a sense we have seen zombies. Not the like Romero type that you would think of, the decomposing and all that, but I think that in a different kind of way we have seen zombies, and I would not be surprised.
My older brother calls them sports fans.
Some people call them wrestling fans.
Some people call them fucking tweens. I mean, anywhere you look outside with their smartphones in their face.
Playing that Pokemon Go.
If I had a cell phone at that age, I'd have been right there with them.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying they're all on the Instagram and the
Tweeter,
the Facebook,
the face mask,
playing their little Nintendos.
And it's my fault
the
too
instant
because
graham crackers.
I'm constantly hooked in.
Yeah.
We're all hooked.
We
in.
all are. I mean,
But it doesn't make you a zombie. That's
It makes
quite
you a
leap.
sheep.
It is quite a leap. But I'm saying mostly in that's a common trope that
It's a
people like to
trope,
throw.
but it's a stupid trope.
No, I think though, like I said, I think that in the different kind of way we have seen a zombie, and I wouldn't be surprised if the government is manufacturing something. They're trying to come up with something that to have controllable.
Dude, they can't even get my time card right.
They can't.
It's true.
I think there is a zombie out there.
Mhm.
I think he's in the bottom of Area 51, bumping into the wall. There's a gray alien that's probably smelling his farts because he's just into that, and that's all he's into. And right behind that gray alien
Is Courtney Love.
Yep. And I think that's going to bring us to a close on this episode.
Josh once again crowbarred Courtney Love into the podcast.
So,
Guess that's what I'm ending this podcast now. Is that's some Courtney Love song.
we need to end this podcast now.
So
Similarly.
similarly,
Go ahead.
so did you like it? Did you like it? Was it good for you? Ooh. So you probably found us on some form of media or another, but did you know we're on other like websites and whatnot?
What website?
Well, let's see. We are on the Facebooks. We are on Podomatic.
Good poll.
We are on the Twitster.
At Conspiracy T Show.
And we have the emails.
At Conspiracy T Show.
At gmail.com.
At gmail.com,
Unlike
man.
what we said the first 5 episodes.
But that's
Yeah.
okay. As long as we go, we'll keep, reiterating our
There's
our
somebody else
internet
with
stuff.
conspiracy show at gmail.com is like,
Why am I getting all
he's got his
these emails?
aluminum foil hat on. And he's really confused right now.
I knew it. I knew they'd send field agents after me.
Yep.
I came up with this great Gmail, and look, Martha, my mom, Martha, because that's it. It's a
yeah.
young Bruce Wayne in his basement.
I see what you did.
It's Alex
all good.
Jones.
So,
Black helicopters out there.
FEMA.
so yeah, we have all these different ways for you to find us, to listen to us, to communicate with us.
Which you don't do, but thank you.
Yeah, I mean, somebody will eventually communicate, and we'll
Actually,
love
there was. He said he could make our penis bigger. Yeah. 3 extra inches.
And I heard our Comcast bill was overdue.
It was. Still is.
Oh, well.
it.
That's all good. If you want to find us personally, I'm at Ryan Herrig on Twitter.
At Larry_Gah on Twitter. Or if you like baseball, you can listen to the EFISpodcast.com.
Sweet.
That EFIS podcast, what's it about?
Baseball history, the curious side.
It's good stuff. I listen to it.
Awesome.
Cool.
And I'm on Facebook and I'm on Twitter, but I'm not on there often. I know. I keep saying I'm going to try and get better, but I can't. I don't know what it is.
It's okay.
Just if you don't like it, you don't like it. What are you going to do?
If you want to talk to Josh, send us a Facebook message or a Gmail. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So anyways, yeah, if you have anything you want to contribute, give us an idea.
An idea for an episode would
That'd be great.
more than welcome.
Absolutely.
Rate and review on iTunes. It helps, supposedly.
Yeah. So
Not
If
that-
you're a slow or fast zombie, just do it when you get a chance,
Not
please.
the ratings we're getting right now.
Uh-oh.
1.5 stars.
boom, boom.
Really?
boom.
Yes.
It's
Oh.
okay.
I know somebody who probably did that.
Asshole.
So anyways, yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Or 1 week from now, I
1
guess.
week.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we
we-
might be doing a
we've got
special.
something
This is so
special
haphazard.
coming in a week.
Okay, cut all that.
This is great because I'll tell you why. Because people who are into conspiracies are going to come up with theories as to why we just release these when we do, and we're just really driving them nuts. So I think we should just continue to do that.
Just release someone we want on a random Monday. So, anyways, next week there will be another episode.
This has been a presentation of Mirror City Media.